We're live. Go ahead.
Okay, super. Welcome everybody to our quarterly meeting of the ADRC Commission or the ADR Commission. I have an apology to give to you all at the start. I have a client that has a huge problem, and I'm in Atlanta right now at a mediation. The mediator is out of the room, so when he comes back, I may need to jump back into that room, but I have alerted Dana to this fact, and she's going to be prepared to carry on for me and move through the agenda. So again, welcome everybody. Thankful you're here and grateful for that. The minutes of the July 16, 2024 quarterly meeting are provided at attachment 2. I know you all have already looked at them. Is there a motion for those minutes to be approved?
I move that those minutes be approved.
Thank you, Chuck. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? Okay, they're all approved unanimously. The statistics for our Rule 31 reports for the fourth quarter are provided at attachment 3, and you can take a look at those. And let's kind of, with that, move into Dana's AOC staff report. She'll update us on the renewal, the medical debt ODR project, and our meeting schedule for 2025. Dana, take it away.
Okay. All right. So renewal season opened on October 1. As of this morning, we've had 175 mediators renew. Noelle and I work every day. Big issue is they realize there's continuing mediation education credits are not up to date. So that's, if you said, well, what is the one thing? And that's it. Or do I need to renew? But it's going along really well.
Tell them they need to attend the workshop and they can get all of their continuing mediation credit.
Absolutely. We have the link ready, and if with emails and calls, if they're missing something, because the value that you get for the 6 hours is just, you can't beat it. Even if you need 1 hour, a lot of the TVA courses, they're going to charge you $150 or $200 for 1 hour of ethics. So it's a great deal. So yes, we're sharing it and advertising.
Next door.
The update on the medical debt ODR pilot, we have published the phase 2 report, which is in attachment 4. When you see phase 2, what do you take away? What I take away from that, and what I tell everyone, is we deem phase 2 as when we did the true, we were past testing and we were live in the platform. And Erlanger Hospital followed through completely with uploading and debt collection, and Erlanger Hospital deems it as a success at this point. For the cases that they uploaded, we set a goal of uploading 800 cases, and you can see in the report quite a bit of money was collected at a very low cost for Erlanger, and that is what sells Erlanger. So we are very happy with that. We are moving into phase 3. Phase 3 requires some build out on the platform that so that we can add more hospitals. And so we're in talks and negotiations about cost and whether or not the cost that's been quoted is reasonable. So that's with legal and with our IT department. They are reviewing that proposal. Also, we did, the AOC's got a great podcast that they do on a regular basis, and they invited the ODR. So if you get a chance, we have a podcast out there that showcases the court, the hospital, and the stakeholders. So we're really proud of that. Business for you guys is item C. It is time for you guys to vote on the upcoming schedule and application deadline for 2025. So there will need to be a motion and approval on that.
Can you wheel the schedule up on that Dana, attachment 5?
Yes, Noel, yep.
Oh, Noel, I'm sorry.
We
Mary
share.
Noel is working on that. The schedule, Noel has provided the 2025 ADR Commission meeting dates and times and the application deadlines. Is there a motion that they be approved?
I move that the dates be approved as provided here.
Okay, super. Is there a
Second.
second? Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Dana and Noel, it looks like you all have a schedule there, so thank you for that. Anything else on your report?
That's it for now.
Okay, super. Let's roll into our committee reports. One thing I will say to you, Dana and Noel and I spent some time looking at the committees, and there'll be some people rolling off the commission, I believe, this year. And then some of you were kind of put into committees that I don't know if you felt like that's where your mediation talents and gifts were, but we are going to be doing a reorganization of the committees in January. So if there's something that you don't want to do or something that you do want to do, please let either Dana or me know. Cindy, Communications Committee.
Great. Well, actually, what it says here is pretty much all there is to say. We have published the June newsletter, and the fall newsletter is along the way here. It will focus on the upcoming training, and then we're going to add another article or two. So if anybody is dying, they have one last thing that they'd like to contribute, this would be the moment to let us know, or you can send me an email right afterwards, but we're just rocking along here. Of course, the workshop registration is open, and we already talked about that, and that's about it.
The number I had as of October 2 was 109 registered. Dana, again, how many do we have now?
139.
Okay, super.
And we are almost, correct me if I'm wrong, Noel, but we are almost 50-50 virtual. No, I take that back. We have got, I think,
80 virtual and 59 in person, I think was the last numbers.
yeah. So we'll get a lot towards the end of registration. Registration ends October 25th, but that's just to corral. As you know, we always work with individuals who miss the deadline. We have the ability to register. You know, it's not too bad, so sad. We will register people up into the day. It's easier to do that from virtual. In person, we have the catering, but so real interesting. The other thing is renewal. This is also the time where people are learning they lapsed. So we're dealing with that. I saved that for this part. So, and I didn't get the email, but we're doing the best we can.
Okay, super. Thank you. Pro Bono Mediation and Advisory Joint Committee. Sarah, I understand that there's one application for the Community Mediation Center that is on hold, but there's no other new business. Is that correct?
That is correct. There's no new business.
Okay, super. The Rule and Policy Committee, Betsy, give us all the good news from our petition to amend Rule 31, and Dwight, in advance, thank you for all of your support and help on that, and guidance too.
Yes, I know 2 or 3 people who will benefit from this rule change. But as we all know, the order, was filed October 2nd, and it goes into effect November 1st. So that's good news for some people who fit into this category and now can resubmit their applications or have them considered that have been on hold.
Okay, super. Betsy, thank you for all of your work and all of your drafting. I know it was a lot of work and a lot of people to please, but you did a beautiful job. And Dwight, thank you for guiding it through the Supreme Court. So the order is done. So good work, everybody.
You're welcome. I have to give a shout out to the KBA Family Law section, because they came up with the additional language that, I can't remember exactly what the issue was, but they decided there was another glitch that needed to be filled. And so the KBA came through on that one.
Super. The grievance committee, I don't know what is happening. Dana and I were looking at these, but these grievances are coming out of the woodwork. So I apologize to you all who are on more. Number one, thank you if you're on a grievance subcommittee, but I apologize to you if you're on more than one, because there's some of you who are. We have 3 grievances under review, and they are in various stages. And when there's a decision on them, we will let you know. Dana, do you want to add anything to that?
Nope. That's exactly what's, the status of each one of them. I will say, Afib, yes, I want to add, in regards to the grievance, when you look at Rule 31, this is actually a very long process once a grievance is accepted.
Mhm.
Because once it's accepted, then there's timeframes, and those are very lengthy. So this does take some time for the committees, just because each party has time to respond, and they have a lengthy time. So we're talking 30 days back and forth. So, but yeah, they're moving along.
Okay, super. Ethics Advisory Committee, we've got one of those now. That's been sent to Floyd's committee. Any update on that, Floyd?
No, they're both under review. They're attached, and they're very interesting issues for sure.
One of them I thought was incredibly interesting about what courts could refer. Could a court refer a matter to a non-Rule 31 mediator? But 2 very interesting things that Floyd and his committee will have some further updates at our future meetings. Training and education. Marcus, I think you've got something you want to say on this one.
Yes, thanks, John. Just a couple things. The committee met on September 23rd. We've got about 3 items that I'll discuss today. The first is just an update on the ADRC workshop in November. I'll yield to Ms. Schmidt if she wants to just talk about a little bit of Ms. Schmidt.
So, we're doing this at Belmont. We have already worked with our internal IT division, or communications, I should say. And so Noelle has set some travel dates. We're going to go and walk through the venue and just make sure that we know exactly where our rooms are and what the communications is going to look like. We've also got on Thursday night the commission dinner and get together. We're going to do that at Germantown Cafe. Noelle's done a great job working with Germantown, and she's meeting to confirm the menu this Thursday. And then the last thing is just we've got the agenda, and I know different session groups are working to get their materials up to date. But that will be the last step for you guys, is to get us your materials so that we can upload them. Because as you know, this is a paperless event. So we upload them, and then the attendees have the ability, if they want, they can download them and print them. But that's really the outstanding issue at this point, is getting that information to us.
And thank you so much to Ms. Schmidt, Ms. Weldon, and everybody with the Training Education Committee for their hard work. It looks like we're going to have a really good workshop and a good lineup. So thank you very much. Second item is the trainer waiver requests. We've got 5. I'll spend time on one specifically. Applicant ID 164987, which is attachment 9. The applicant is applying for civil listing. Applicant is seeking a waiver of Rule 31 requirements. Applicant has a graduate degree and has completed a 3-hour mediation course through Colorado State. Reviewing this, the committee found that the training was substantially equivalent, and thus the committee recommends to approve the waiver.
Okay.
Is there a motion? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Marcus. That's just fine.
Okay, I was just going to say, is there a motion to approve applicant 164987?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Okay, all parties in favor of approving applicant 164987, please say aye, or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so moved. All right, and the next four, which were applicants ID 165002, applicant ID 165003, applicant ID 164940, and applicant ID 151353. Reviewing the materials, the committee found that the requests are not ripe for decision at this time, and we recommend to defer these applications to the next quarterly meeting in January for further consideration.
I don't think any action is required on that, Marcus. So thank you for that update.
Absolutely. And just I'll yield to Ms. Schmidt on the next and the last item, which is the private party request to amend Rule 31. Ms. Schmidt, if you want to talk about that real quick.
Yes. Attachment 10 is the request that was received by the Supreme Court and then through process was sent to the ADR chair and myself. As you can see, the private party is requesting the ADRC consider a rule change to Rule 31. When we met in September, the committee and I had talked through the normal process for this review. This is going to take some time. What I had suggested is that now that it's on the agenda and it's been brought to the ADRC's attention, that after this meeting, the Training and Education Committee look over it, make their suggestions, then send it to the Rule and Policy Committee, who will then review it, and then we can present and discuss further in January. As you know, amending of the rule takes a long process. And so that's where we are on it at this point. I will work with the Training and Education Committee after this meeting to set our meeting, and then it will be discussed at that point. And from there, it will go to the Rule and Policy Committee.
Okay, super. Thank you. Anybody have any questions on that? Because we'll be looking at that again. Okay, let's move to our Credentials Committee. And Laura, you've got a lot of recommendations here. And I think for the sake of time, why don't you just make one motion at the end for all of your recommendations, and we will vote on that.
Okay, thank you. We met on September 25th and we went through all of the applications and the first group are the 43 recommended for approval without dispute. Those are number 165019 through 165038. We'll come back to those. Those are the civil, and then the family. We had 165023 to 165038. Those that will be part of the motion as well, that we're recommending that they be approved. There was one that on your notes there, number 2, 165038, applying for a dual listing, but we did not find that they met the work experience. So we're recommending to deny that. And we decided not to defer because it doesn't appear that time would help this person, be compliant. So, and then there are 5 applications with training waiver requests. Can you scroll down there on that, please? Yes. And So we are asking to you all to approve 164987. But the remainder of those we're asking to defer pending the outcome of the Rule 31 change, which I believe is happening today. Is that correct?
I think it goes into effect November 1st.
Yes,
So those will be deferred until our next meeting.
yes.
Okay. And then we have two issues with disciplinary history. The first one, 164700, we had previously deferred that because there was an open action, a current case with the BPR, and that has been closed, and we are now recommending approval of that application. Applicant 164959 is applying for family, and he or this applicant had I believe there were two disciplinary issues, but after we reviewed everything, we determined that he was suitable for the practice of mediation, and we're recommending approval. So I move that we approve the aforementioned recommendations of the committee to be approved.
Is there a second?
One clarification.
Yes.
Yes.
In item number 2, applicant 165038, the recommendation is to approve civil and deny family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chuck. I missed that. Yes. Yes. That was because of the difference in the requirements. Yes. So with that clarification, is there a second for
A
that?
second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Go ahead. All in
All-
favor, say aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Lori, as always, thank you for all of that hard work and going through all those applications. You and your committee do a wonderful, wonderful job.
Thank you. It's a good committee. It's a good committee.
Last item, Dana, give us our next Rule 31 deadline and our next, and then I'll announce the next quarterly meeting.
The next deadline is, Noel, based on it's December 2nd. Is that what they approved?
Yes, I'll look real quick just to clarify, but I believe
I think that's right.
Yeah, December 2nd.
And
Yes.
then, and
Yes.
our next quarterly meeting will be January 14, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Central. Also, again, just a reminder that the committees will be reshuffled somewhat. And if you're on a committee that you would prefer not to be on, let us know. If you're not on a committee on which you would like to be, please let us know. So that's our committee updates. And well, I've mentioned that once before, but I wanted all of you to make sure and let us know your thoughts on that. Dwight, do you have anything else you want to add for us today?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This is a great commission. And y'all are running like a well-oiled machine. So also a very good meeting, and thank you for doing that in the midst of trying to make a little money today. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you. You know,
I will see you all at the Germantown Cafe or whoever's there, and also at the opening of the workshop. So see y'all in Nashville in a couple of weeks.
Dwight, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks for your kind words to the committee. When you got great staff like we do and great members like are on this committee, it's not hard to do a good job. So we appreciate everybody's efforts toward this. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting and we will go from there. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you soon at the workshop.
John, if I may,
Yes.
If Cindy and Lori and Betsy can stay, we'd like to have a meeting following this meeting for our panel on the annual workshop.
Okay, well, that sounds great. The rest of us can leave, and then